All right, here we go again. Me and being irresponsible with money. I seem to be good at it. Sometimes, I don't know. Depends on your opinion, but I now own this derpy looking Dodge D600. I'll turn the camera around here. So this is a 1974 custom D600. D being that it's two-wheel drive. Unfortunately, it'd be cool if it was four-wheel drive, but it's not. So I bought this thing, probably paid too much for it, but it's really hard to find one that's not rusted out. This one's pretty solid. The hood's flown open before. You can see the hinge is all bent. Both of them are bent up. There's some dents in the hood where it hit the cab. That's gonna have to be taken care of. Eventually I'll do the body work. Find some other hinges. Those look like the same hinges they used on the swept line Dodge pickups of the 70, 69, 70, 71 era. It is a big block. I'm not sure if it's a 413 or smaller, which industrial version it is. I don't feel like it won't be a 440 because this is an industrial truck. So it could be a 440, but it has the big, huge industrial water pump on it. Also has this radiator hose that is like the size of an intake tube for a small car, and a huge like oil filter right on the oil pump. It's very it's all industrial heavy duty stuff. So it's got a new carburetor on it, has a new fuel pump. It looks like it's got a newer starter. So it's supposed to have all new wheel cylinders and the brakes. It even came with a battery, a never start, believe it or not, that is 5 years old, and it actually works really good, even though that looks disgusting. That needs taken care of. Came off of some horse property, so it kind of been sitting around. They were gonna, I think they hauled some wood with it. They were gonna haul some other stuff, and they just decided they didn't really need it. So got a nice bend there in the grill. There's a tear in the fender. You know, they rubbed something there. It's a farm truck, grain truck. So that's what it was. It was bought from a grain or a seed farmer. Really good whack right here, which is actually, you can see the top edge of the fender here. My phone quits focusing on my hand. Top edge of that fender is twisted, so I got a little bit of massaging to do there. This door won't open. I think the latch is stuck because you push the button. I can feel it activating the linkage. It might actually be bent or something. I'll have to get in there, roll the window down, and look down through here, and probably take a piece of rebar and a hammer and smack on it and get the latch to release. It's probably just seized up from sitting. You know, this door doesn't get used that much, you know, passenger side. Bottom of it is got a nice rot seam in it. That's the only rust, is the doors. Everything else is surface or it's body damage. So, and this stuff's really thick steel because this thing's old, you know, work truck. Bondo, there's some damage on that door. Of course, it is rotten on the bottom as well. Has an extra access hole. Probably can't hear me because there's cars driving by. There's an extra access hole through this door panel. These are the typically would come in an adventure upper trim level truck. I'll switch over to the solid steel that's painted. I'll probably change these doors out. This one being rotten, the hinge is blown out. It's been hyperextended here. That one, I might rebuild that door. I don't know how bad the bottom edge of it is yet because I haven't been able to get it open. Also, there could be a hole in the floor, like right there, but I haven't been able to get the door open. 5-speed main, 2-speed rear, super low gear, like 50-55 is max speed. I just realized somebody actually took the seat belts out of this, or it just never had them installed. It just had the bolts there. I feel like it would have came with at least lap seat belts. I don't see, yeah, all the bolts are there, but nothing. You can see the bolts right there near the fuel tank. No seat belts attached. Kind of weird. Maybe it was optional. Because it's a D600, it has the commercial truck style steering wheel and column, which is cool, but it also is kind of, it's a little tight here. I'm a little bit overweight, like most people, and this is this rubs. So I might look into modifying this because it's all pretty open. Maybe see if I can suck this up into the dash a little more. Maybe change the angle of it a little bit. I don't know. I really like it. I kind of want to take it out, put a 70s steering column in because it would bolt right into this. But I also just really like the old truck, big truck steering wheel. 74 style pickup dash. It says 39,516, I think. Let me climb up here and double check. I don't want to misspeak here. You know, people get real upset about that. 39516. It's hard to see that's a 3. I thought it was an 8 at first, but it is a 3. And I would say it's original because the floor, I mean, maybe somebody threw some new paint on this at some point, but the floor is just solid in this thing. So it was a V6 Mustang with no mufflers on it or something. It's obnoxiously loud. Most trucks like this would have had a hole worn through the floor underneath the pedals if it had a ton of miles on it. So it does have some nice dents on top of the cab here, but that's probably from somebody's foot because, you know, ladder and whatnot. Has a dual ram. You can see one ram here. There's one on the other side. You can kind of see it behind it. A dual ram dump bed. It is very nice, heavy built bed. It's pretty long. I'm not sure how long yet. Haven't measured it. Steel deck. Nice heavy duty. They put these on. They're a multi-function light. Really nice. My buddy that followed me home that took me out to pick this thing up said that the lights were working. I'm not sure if the reverse lights are working, but the stops and turns work. He said they were working great. Obviously, you know, it's just an old grain truck. These things were meant to be loaded full of a big pile of seed or grain, take it out to the grain silos and dump it out, and they just needed to get to and from the field. They weren't too worried about speed. So this thing is slow. So anyways, I bought this thing because it was close. I've been looking for one for a while. It's hard to find the 70s heavy duty trucks like this. So that's why I paid up for it, because it was a running driving truck. It has brakes that are functioning mostly correct. The pedals sticking. They said they thought the brakes were hanging up on the right rear still a little bit, so I'll have to look into that. I'm not planning on driving it a whole lot in its current form. It'll probably mostly just move around the yard. I might get it out and haul some stuff around. It is just really slow. I actually had the idea of throwing, I have a couple junk cars. I was thinking if I could figure out how to put them in here and throw a bunch of other scrap metal in, and just make one trip down to the metal recyclers, that would be super handy. Instead of having to load the trailer and take the truck, and I can't get as much on the trailer. Definitely can haul a lot more weight in the back of this truck, but it's slow. It is so slow. I don't think I want to drive it 40 minutes south to the metal recyclers. So the big purpose, or the main reason I bought this truck, is it's going to get I'm going to take the bed off of it. I'm going to shorten it up, and I want to find a medium to light duty, or medium, like a heavy light duty, or a medium duty twin line wrecker bed to put on it for a reasonable price. A lot of them that I find for sale are just super expensive, and I mean, I get it. They're tow trucks. The tow truck equipment, stuff's expensive new. So I'm just kind of waiting until I find a decent deal on one. I figure I'm going to pay a few $1,000s to get one, and that's fine. I just gotta wait until I have the money lined up, and it's one that I like, because I want it to have the wheel lift to tow newer cars, and I want the twin line so I can pick stuff up with the boom and rotate it and things if I need to, because I really want to be able to use it on the property for moving junk around, moving cars around, towing. I really want to be able to tow whatever I want as far as like modern cars and stuff, in the case of, you know, if I got friends or family or somebody's car breaks down, I can go tow it for them instead of them having to pay a big old tow bill. The camera cut off for some reason. Anyways, you know, they would rather pay, you know, a friend, or, you know, they'd rather pay me than give their money to other companies, because, you know, you're helping out your friends that way. And I got a buddy who's always got cars and stuff. He wants to move around, so it'd just be handy, and just for the fact it'd be handy for my stuff. So because I've got things like this, the 59 D100 that has seized up wheels, so I'd really like to be able to tow stuff or move things around that are like that don't move. One thing I am going to do is spin around and make everybody sick. I want to put a hitch in the back of this temporarily, because I think this is the right height for my trailer. I can back up, put the bed down a little bit, and then hook on with a winch and double up the winch and suck that 59 off the trailer into the back of this thing. And then I can move it around the yard and find a good place for it to live until I can get to taking it apart, because I mostly bought it for the just for the cab and the front end. It probably will become yard art. It's just a cool looking old truck. So, but anyways, yep, this is going to be the Mopar Farms tow truck someday. Record tow truck. Might end up with a Cummins, a newer drivetrain, might end up with newer axles. It'd be really cool if it had like a school bus chassis I could kind of build everything onto, because then I'd have the ability to go faster, and it'd be a diesel and air brakes, and that stuff's all just really handy. But in its current form, just shortening the frame, putting a wrecker body on it, should be able to do what I want to do. I want to be able to tow things like my motorhomes. I want to move to a bigger piece of property. My mom has a motorhome, so if it ever breaks down, you know, it's just nice. It'd just be really handy. So someday there'll be videos of me building this, but for now it's just going to be an old grain truck that I'll probably just move junk around the yard with. So I'm going to get to working on the carburetor, see if I can get this thing to run a little better so it doesn't die every time I try to stop. And maybe I'll put it to work. Maybe there'll be some videos soon, maybe not.